We've all heard the legend of voodoo dolls. Little cloth dolls imbued with dark magic and linked by witchcraft to a real person. Whenever the voodoo doll is hurt, so is the poor soul who's tethered to the doll. The stories are grim, but are they true? Do voodoo dolls really exist? And if so, can they really cause harm? Let's find out in today's episode of
Colossal Mysteries.
Popular opinion suggests that voodoo dolls come from the religions of Haitian Voodoo or Louisiana Voodoo. But in fact, they don't have a prominent place in either. No, you see, voodoo dolls don't trace their origins to Africa or the Caribbean, but instead were likely first invented by Europeans. Historical records show that the oldest known voodoo dolls come from Britain. During the Middle Ages, it wasn't uncommon for professional practitioners of magic, known as cunning folk, to make rag dolls of a witch and stick her with pins to hurt her and break her bewitching spells. So that's where the magic rag dolls stuck with pins got their start. But how did they become voodoo dolls? When did the European ritual gain its association with Africa and the Caribbean? Well, the truth is, modern voodoo practices are nothing more than a distorted exaggeration of Haitian Voodoo religion that has very little to do with black magic, voodoo dolls, or zombies. Haitian voodoo practices began with slaves living in Haiti who combined elements of West African traditions from home and pieces of Roman Catholicism, which was the religion forced on them by their masters of the island. In the beginning of the 1900s, fiction writers began fusing old rituals like sticking pins in rag dolls with real voodoo practices, creating the modern image of the culture we associate with voodoo and witch doctors. And it's not just voodoo dolls. Zombies are another aspect of the voodoo religion that's been greatly exaggerated for dramatic effect in writing over the last 100 years. In the actual voodoo religion, zombies weren't villains, they were the victims. You see, in rural Haitian folklore, zombies aren't mindless monsters. They're people brought back from the dead and controlled by a voodoo sorcerer or witch called a Bokor. Original Haitian zombie folklore was meant to make people fear becoming a zombie rather than being eaten by one. And considering the island's history with slavery, these Haitian zombie stories weren't all that far off from what many people in Haiti were experiencing themselves every day. So are voodoo dolls, and for that matter zombies, really an important part of the voodoo religion? No. But as long as books, movies, video games, and every other area of pop culture continues to tell stories about spooky, mystical voodoo magic, there will be some who continue to think of them as part of voodoo. At the end of the day, the only thing real about the voodoo dolls and zombies are the piles of cash that cities like New Orleans make, with endless shops, trinkets, tours, exhibits, and museums to capitalize on the historical massive misconception. And now you know a little bit more about the voodoo doll. Comment below with a mystery you'd like us to solve, and remember to subscribe for more episodes of
Colossal Mysteries.
only on DreamWorks TV.